So what is the DUI Diversion Program? In Oregon, the legislature created something called the DUI Diversion Program. The concept is that for certain people, if you qualify for the diversion program, you can enter a plea, so the judge will find you guilty, but they put that plea in abeyance. They put it essentially up on a shelf. And over the course of a year, you have to jump through a series of hoops. But at the end of that year, if you've jumped through all those hoops and you've kept your nose clean, you've not gotten in any more trouble, then the DUI is dismissed. As a general rule, that's a great thing to have in your back pocket. That doesn't mean everybody should enter diversion who's eligible, but it's a very good option if it's there for you. So who qualifies for Oregon's DUI Diversion Program? There are specific yes and no answers to that, and then there is discretionary answers. So if this is your first DUI within the last 15 years, as long as nobody was hurt in this incident, as long as you don't have a commercial driver's license, you've not gone through any court-required drug or alcohol classes for the last 15 years, then generally speaking, you could qualify for the Oregon Diversion Program. And then there's also discretionary factors. So you could qualify in all those cases, but a prosecutor could object to your diversion entry for other reasons. They could object because, for example, there were children in the car, or because a person had a very high BAC, or for a variety of other reasons. Just because you are eligible doesn't mean that you're going to be able to participate in the diversion program. That's still a judge's decision. So if you choose to participate in the diversion program, well, the benefits are that you can avoid a conviction, which is a pretty significant benefit. The requirements that you're going to have to go through is that you have to pay the court a fee, usually about $500. You're going to have to go through what's called an alcohol evaluation by the jurisdiction that you're in. You're going to have to do whatever treatment program that the evaluator's office says that you need to do. You're going to have to go through a victims panel, which is a one-time educational class designed to get your attention about the dangers of drinking and driving, and it generally does. There's an interlock device requirement that will be a device you have to put into your car to blow into in order to start your car. And then the last piece is that you have to have no alcohol and not get any more trouble over the course of a year. So if you have alcohol and are caught, or if you have another substance, an illegal substance or a substance that's intoxicating, that's not been approved by your treatment program, then you could be in violation of diversion. If you're in violation of diversion, your ability to participate in the diversion program becomes a very big question. In fact, a judge could revoke you from diversion, and then you are convicted of the DUI. So now you've decided to enter the diversion program. What happens if you don't do all the things that you're supposed to do? Well, the short and the blunt answer is you are convicted of this DUI. You go to jail. You have to do all the things that you would have had to done in the diversion program all over again, plus you're on probation, plus your license is suspended for a longer period of time. So there's a lot of consequences if you don't successfully complete the diversion program. Some of the ways that we often see that people have had issues with the diversion program are they don't pay the fees or fines that they're owed. They show up to the victims panel having had something to drink. Please don't do that. They have the ignition interlock device tests your blood alcohol content every time you blow into it. And if you have alcohol, then the interlock device will not only register that, but will send that back to the evaluator's office, and then you are in front of a judge trying to explain why it is that you had alcohol in your breath. So there's many ways that you can find yourself sideways with the criminal justice system in the diversion program. Let me say this. What I have seen personally is that people who don't have attorneys have a significantly higher chance of failing out of the diversion program than those who do have attorneys. And I think it's simply because they don't understand all the intricacies and all the consequences and the whys behind all the pieces that are required. So part of the value that Reynolds Defense Firm brings is that we help you through the entire diversion program. We don't just leave you at the doorstep. We keep your file open for the rest of that entire year. Now, if we have to go to court again, I've got to charge you more money. But the idea here is that you don't have to go to court again, that we help you with the paperwork. We help you with all these details. So at the end of this year, the DUI is dismissed and you're able to go on with your life the way you want to. At Reynolds Defense Firm, we have well over 100 years of experience between all of our lawyers in helping folks and in criminal defense and in criminal law in general. And so we put our knowledge into a workbook for folks going through the DUI Diversion Program. And so there's Reynolds Defense Firm's DUI Diversion Notebook. And in that workbook, we have tips, we have explanations, we have instructions, where we've got all these years of experience and all the things that we have seen people fall into traps for. all laid out. So you'll have that to be able to read, to reference, and to use throughout your diversion period. So what will my record look like if I've been arrested for a DUI and I go through the diversion program? Well, everybody has 3 different basic types of records. You have a driving record, you have an arrest record, and you have a conviction record. So your driving record, if you've been arrested for a DUI and failed to refuse a breath test, there's going to be an entry that says failed to refuse a breath test. There's also going to be an entry that says entered diversion. So that's your driving record. Your arrest record will show that you've been arrested for a DUI. And that's going to be there forever. You can't get it expunged, with a few exceptions. The last piece is your conviction record, and frankly, that's the most important. And your conviction record, if you enter and successfully complete diversion, your conviction record remains clear. You've not been convicted of a crime. And that's a pretty significant difference because, as you know, in a background check, they're generally looking for criminal convictions. And you can answer no to the question of I've been convicted of a crime if you've entered and successfully completed the DUI diversion program. So do I need a lawyer if I'm going to participate or enter the DUI diversion program? Well, this is going to be viewed perhaps with some suspicion coming from an attorney. But yeah, get an attorney. Hire my firm, hire somebody else. Get a court-appointed attorney if you need to and you financially qualify for one. But the bottom line is, this is something that you don't want to be your own learning curve for. Right? So you're a smart person, you're an intelligent person. This is not logical and this is not linear. You don't want to be your learning curve on something where things go terribly wrong. You go to jail. If you've been arrested for a DUI, and if you're contemplating the DUI diversion program, please give us a call today. We will talk you through what we can, and we're here to help. Reynolds Defense Firm. We're solid. We're here if you need us, and we are very good at what we do.